Yo, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? Are we good? This is the first time. Are we good? Let me know it. Oh my god, is the overlay flowing? What is going? Oh, look at that, it's looking good. Oh, it's looking good. Look at that. How we doing? You like the new things? What's up? How we doing? We good? All right. Welcome to Time Served with the new digs. How we doing, everybody? What's up? Are we looking good? How's the stream looking? Oh my god, it is looking beautiful. How are we doing, people? Oh, I'm loving it. Oh, I am loving it. Do we like it, people? Do we like it or what? All right, here we go. I have a ton of clips for you that I saved for tonight. I'm so happy. Do we have sound? Everybody hears me? Oh my god, it looks beautiful. I'm looking at it on my phone. Oh, I'm so happy you're with me. How we doing? Guess what we got? We got to start with my girl, Judge Bryant. How is it looking? Oh my god. Here, you want to see the new widgets? Oh, look at that. Sean, look. Sean, is it coming up? Oh, the gifted memberships don't come up. We got to find one for that. Look at this for the super chat. Wait, ready? Test it. Oh, is it not coming up yet? Oh, of course it's not going to come up for me. Of course. There it is. Look at that. Boom.
Thank you.
I love it. Boom. How does it look? Thank you, Mr. Wexler. Oh, baby, I'm loving it. All right, here we go. Let's go to the clips, people. I hope we're having a good time. Let's go to the clips. Judge Bryant, just be patient with me today. I promise I'll work out the kinks. We are doing it. My man Sean, Sean's just checking out all the gadgets and the gizmos. He's just playing. Sean's playing with us right now. All right, let's do it. Judge Bryant up first. Of course, I can't get this going, of course.
Thank you.
Oh, there it is.
And then I'll confirm with probation that you did complete the other class, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a great day. Stay safe.
You as well.
Mr. Elliott, I'm not going to keep looking at your wall. I'm not going to. I feel like you laid down, and that's real disrespectful.
No.
And so let's not do that again. I know when I opened up court, and I don't remember if you were here at the very beginning or not, and then I remember I said like 5 times, you must remain seated in an upright position, ready to attend court. I brought you in the courtroom twice, and twice I was looking at your wall. I don't want that to occur again. I don't want it to occur again. I'm ready on Elliott. This is case number 214486701. The people of the state of Michigan versus DeAndre Elliott. The defendant is charged with 1 count of retail fraud. Today is the date set for a final pretrial conference. Appearances, please.
For the record, Your Honor, Christina Ritter on behalf of the people.
And Ride Murad, PA 3665 on behalf of Mr. DeAndre Elliott. Mr. Elliott, please unmute your device and state your full name for the record, sir.
DeAndre Elliott.
Today is the date set for a final pretrial conference. How are we proceeding?
Judge, Mr. Elliott continues his plea of not guilty, is still requesting a jury trial. And please, Ms. Ritter, correct me if I'm mistaken. I believe the complainant was last year on January of 2022. So I'd ask that a final pretrial be set before any jury trial judge requiring that complainant's presence.
No, I'm not going to do that for the corporate defense.
Oh, sorry, people. Sorry, people. I'm just exploring. I'm sorry. Just go with the glitches. I'm sorry. Here we go. Just go with the glitches. I am sorry. This is who's really gonna. This are the people really gonna stick with me here. This guy's an idiot. Hold on, guys. I promise. Oh, good God. Here we go. There we go.
Job. So keep up the great work. And then I'll confirm with probation that you did complete the other class, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a great day. Stay safe.
You as well.
Mr. Elliott, I'm not going to keep looking at your wall. I'm not going to. I feel like you laid down, and that's real disrespectful.
No.
And so let's not do that again. I know when I opened up court, and I don't remember if you were here at the very beginning or not, and then I remember I said like 5 times, you must remain seated in an upright position, ready to attend court. I brought you in the courtroom twice, and twice I was looking at your wall. I don't want that to occur again. I don't want it to occur again. I'm ready on Elliott. This is case number 214486701. The people of the state of Michigan versus DeAndre Elliott. The defendant is charged with 1 count of retail fraud. Today is the date set for a final pretrial conference. Appearances, please.
For the record, Your Honor, Christina Ritter on behalf of the people.
And Ride Murad, PA3665 on behalf of Mr. DeAndre Elliott. Mr. Elliott, please unmute your device and state your full name for the record, sir.
DeAndre Elliott.
Today is the date set for a final pretrial conference. How are we proceeding?
Judge, Mr. Elliott continues his plea of not.
They already said, yes, they want to proceed on the case. And so for the corporate defendant, corporate complaints, she know where they are.
Got it, Judge.
All right. I really would. When is my pretrial for Dwayne Jones? All right. Miss Ritter, have you heard anything from Mr. Simon on this Becker and Miles?
I have not, Judge.
Are your witnesses?
Thank you.
Are your witnesses confirmed for that trial? You know, on June 13th.
They're confirmed, yes.
I'm having a problem with the downloads, people. Give me a second. All right, here we go. Middleton coming up. Okay, here we go. Let's have some fun now.
As a defendant in a landlord-tenant proceeding, including termination of tenancy, which is what both of these are, or non-payment of rent, you have the right to a trial by a jury. You have a right.
Okay, so what's happening here is they have 2 landlord-tenant ones. I know that the crybaby Middleton was going around, and there was a lot of good ones going with Middleton, but this one, these 2 are phenomenal. It's really good.
Right to obtain counsel for representation in this matter. Cannot afford an attorney, a legal aid attorney may be available to help you. If the action is for non-payment of rent, we would be going a different direction, but these are filed as a termination of tenancy, meaning the landlord wants you to move. If the plaintiff is agreeable, the Citizens Mediation Services, Inc. may be available as a possible source of case resolution. If both parties are agreeable to mediation, the court can help set that up. Just contact the court. If you do reach an agreement with the plaintiff and a consent judgment is entered by the court, you would waive the rights listed above, but have the following additional rights. The judgment may not be enforced until 3 business days have passed. You could move to set aside the judgment within those 3 days if you misunderstood what you consented to or what you were waiving. Your motion to set aside the judgment would be set for a landlord-tenant hearing in front of the judge, namely me, but if I did not find in your favor, the original judgment would stand. So let's do the Hartzell case first. We've got Leroy Powers Jr. there.
Yes.
Yes.
Marcos Marquez.
Yes.
And Julian Marquez.
Yes.
Where are you guys now? Are you at 524 South Hooker?
No.
Yes or no?
No.
All right. Well, your person that owns the house, your grandmother wants you guys to move. What's your position?
Your guys' position.
I don't know. All right.
You don't know. You don't know if you want to move?
Oh. Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
there's no lease, and Miss Hartzell, do they pay any rent?
No.
No lease and no rent. Eventually, you guys are gonna have to move. Do you have a place to go to?
No, not yet.
All right, well, the law requires that I set this for a second hearing, whether anybody likes it or doesn't.
That noise is not me. That is a wood chipper on one of the defendants outside, or somebody's doing construction outside. That's not me. I promise.
Like it. Why do you get to stay there if she wants you to go and you don't pay any rent and you don't have a lease? Has anybody made any effort to find a place to go to?
He's talking to you, JJ.
Why am I the only one speaking? There's 2 other ones here.
You guys answer him.
Yes.
Have you guys
All right,
made?
well, the law requires that I set this for a second hearing, and so we're gonna do that. At that time, I'm gonna give you 10 days to move out. Ms. Hartzell, this is probably 17 days too long for you, but they are entitled to have a second hearing. And we will do that. Next Friday afternoon at 2:30. Gentlemen, your grandmother wants you to move out, and rather than throwing your stuff out in the street, she's going through the lawful process called a summary proceedings, which eventually results in an eviction. So we're gonna reconvene next Friday at 2:30. If you've moved out by then, we don't need to have a hearing. If you haven't moved out, I'm gonna give you 10 days from next Friday to move out, or you would be subject to being evicted. That's when the sheriff comes and throws all your stuff out in the street. So essentially, you've got 17 days to find a place to go to, or you'll be subject to being evicted. Do you guys work any place?
Do you work anywhere?
No.
Do you start one Monday?
Yeah, I start Monday.
Leroy, where do you work?
No, I don't work right now.
Marquez, do you work?
Shocker.
Which one?
Marquez. Oh,
There's 2 of them.
Marcos.
No.
No.
Julian?
Well, there's probably a connection between the fact that you don't work and you don't have any money. But at this point, you have 17 days to find another place to go. We will reconvene next week at 2:30. And if you're still there, we'll have a further hearing, and then Ms. Hartzell, I would order 10 additional days for them to get out. Now, I don't want any bad stuff to happen between now and then. No destruction of property, none of that stuff. You have a tenancy, and she can't just put you out, but she can go through the legal process, which she's done. The notice to quit was served on you back in December. So we will reconvene next Friday at 2:30 by Zoom like this. Do you understand?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, Leroy, you understand?
Yeah.
And Marcos?
Yeah.
All right, I'll see you next week. Ms. Hartzell, do you have any questions?
No.
All right, we'll try this again next week. If they're still there, they'll have 10 days or they're subject to eviction. All right, gentlemen, you're good to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now the next case is somewhat similar. This is Michaela Sage versus Kelsey Kelly and Dalton Bickings. Same house, once again, 437 East Michigan. I grew up in that neighborhood, just a couple blocks away from where this house is. Ms. Sage, this is your house and you'd like them to move?
Yes.
Are you related?
No.
Is there a lease
No.
that you just let them move in?
I allowed them to move in after I found out that they had their children living in a tent, Your Honor.
Are the children there too?
Yes.
Living with your parents. That's so funny. What are you doing?
Miss Kelly, what's your position here?
We was living with Dalton's parents at the time. We was not in a tent when she let me move in her home, Your Honor. She told me and my children to come in this home, and there was no verbal agreement for rent. There was none of that. There wasn't even a written agreement for rent. She had me and my children move in this home, Your Honor. And I was not in a tent as I moved in this home.
All right, well, slow down. Now she wants you to move out. It's her house. You don't have a lease and you're not paying any rent. So dial back on the indignity. She wants her house back. You and your children are living there. You're not paying any rent and she wants you to move. You're in the same boat as the last folks. They're living there without benefit of a lease and the landlord wants them to move. So I'm going to continue this also to next Friday, which will be a really fun day, March 17th at 2:40. So it's her house. Apparently she let you in there. This might go into the category of no good deed goes unpunished, but now she wants you to move. Have you got any options at a place to go to?
No. I'm in the middle of waiting for Keystone to call me. I talked to them yesterday. They're supposed to call me today or tomorrow sometime.
Very good. All right, we'll be here next Friday at 2:40. And if she's gonna get what she asked for, I will give you 10 days from them, which would be March 27th to move out.
Your Honor,
Yes?
may I ask for sooner than that regarding the fact that there has been police altercation between all three of us parties, as well as the fact that there are messages from Kelsey via voice message on my Facebook of her threatening my safety and threatening to kick my butt in my own home, Your Honor.
All right.
Okay.
Let's
No,
talk
give me this.
about
Give
that.
me the phone.
Let's talk about that.
Give me the phone.
Kelsey.
Yes.
You're
She's
living
had
as
2
a
overdoses
guest.
of heroin in this house as well. So I'm about to pick up the phone. I can't do
Miss
this.
Kelly.
I wonder why I have to talk while you ain't talking though.
Let me talk. You can
I can talk. Hear that? I don't want to talk. I can't.
It becomes very hostile
Stop,
here,
stop,
Your Honor.
stop.
Because you're a liar with your heroin dose.
All right, Miss
Heroin
Kelly,
please. Yes, sir.
Miss Kelly,
Yes, sir.
would you like me to order you be out today and have the sheriff come put you and your children out in the street?
Nope. Because then
All
I
right,
have
then stop. Then you will be respectful and no threats, no Facebook posting. If I find that it's going on next Friday, I'll do an immediate eviction. You're there as a guest. You've got no lease, you're not paying any rent, and you're a tenant at sufferance. And so I don't want to hear any more about this, or I will order an immediate eviction. This is a very uncomfortable circumstance, and I feel for your children. And don't light a cigarette while we're in the court proceeding. So we will address this again next Friday at 2:40. If I find that there are threats or other things happening between now and then, I will order an immediate eviction. So you should stay working with Keystone. This lady brought you into her home with your children because you needed a place to stay, and it sounds like you've worn out your welcome. So
you think?
That's where we are. We will address this next Friday at 2:40. I don't want to hear any assaultive or threatening language or behavior, no property destruction. You're there hanging by a thread. So I will see you next Friday at 2:40 here. Mr. Bickings, thank you also.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Wow. That one was just wow. There's nothing to say. Like, are you kidding me? They're living in a tent, which you know they definitely were. This lady's nice enough. It doesn't matter what's going on with this lady. The word indignant, what Middleton said, was dead on. And then she's beating up the husband. Did anyone catch the best part about this was when she caught when she goes, "I'm muted," and no, you weren't, lady. No, you weren't. Wow, that one was great. That one was unbelievable. All right, the stream's running, right? It's running good? Okay, I can't wait to get the upgrade. But this is the test run, guys. I appreciate you hanging through. 93 people with all the technical difficulties. Thank you, guys. Here we go to the next clip. I have a bunch of really good clips. We're going to go to, let's see. Let's go to, I'm saving that one for later. Let's go to Judge Wendy's. Remember Judge Brunlick? One Wendy's and the bouncy house. Well, he's got an interesting little case for about 5 minutes. Watch the reaction of the people in this case. It is fantastic. Here we go.
Record this matter is before the court for a continued pretrial conference for the purpose of establishing paternity of an unborn child being carried by the defendant to mother, defendant wife. This Zoom hearing, present for the Zoom hearing is attorney Stephen Jednick, representing the defendant wife, Matea Seeger. Is Ms. Seeger present? Yes, she is present in Mr. Jednick's office. In addition, attorney Anthony Breslow is present, representing the plaintiff Nathan Seeger. Good morning, Mr. Breslow and Mr. Jednick.
Good morning.
For the record, the court would note that the parties appeared before this court on March 1st, 2023, placed an agreement upon the record. Proofs were taken. The only outstanding issue was paternity of the child being carried by the defendant. She had an expected due date of August 2023. The court recalls, and correct me if I'm wrong, that both plaintiff and defendant both testified that Mr. Seeger was not the biological father of that child, but rather one Jeffrey Standridge was the biological father. And the court further recalls both parties waived the right to DNA testing. Is that your recollection, Mr. Breslow?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Thank you. Is that your recollection as well, Mr. Jednick?
It is, and seated to my left is Mr. Standridge to also confirm the same. He would be asserting his paternity.
All right, Mr. Standridge, can you raise your right hand to be sworn, please? Do you solemnly swear affirm that the testimony you're about to give this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I swear.
Sir, can you please state your name for the record?
My name is Jeffrey A. Standards Jr.
Okay. Mr. Jenik, do you want to examine Mr. Standards, or do you want the court to do that?
I can, and then if I missed anything, the court can fill in the blanks.
Please.
You're familiar with Matea Seeger?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you're aware Matea Seeger is pregnant?
Yes.
All right. And you're asserting your paternity that you're the father of that unborn child?
Yes.
All right. And in sometime in fall of 2022, you would have had access to Matea Seeger and been intimate with her sexually?
Yes.
All right. And it is your plan that when the child is born, you would assert your paternity as the legal and biological father?
Yes.
All right. And you're telling this court under oath that you are the father of that child?
Yes.
And you understand that if the court accepts that, you're giving up the right to have a DNA test to show otherwise that you are or not the father?
Yes.
All right. Your Honor, is the court satisfied?
Yes, the court is. Mr. Bresco, do you have any questions, Mr. Standridge?
I do not, Your Honor. I'm satisfied as well.
Right. Mr. Standridge, do you understand that if being the biological father of this child to be born in August to Miss Seeger, that the child will be a legal heir of yours and you're obligated to provide support for that child?
I'm excited for it, Your Honor.
Okay. And you understand you could defer this matter until the child's born and get DNA testing to absolutely establish you're the biological father. Do you understand that?
I understand, but I do not wish to.
Okay, you give up your right to DNA testing, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And so you're asking this court to determine that you're the biological father of that unborn child, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. Very well. So with this, the parties can submit a judgment of divorce, is that correct?
Yes.
All right.
Whoa, Rita with the 50 burger. Rita, thank you.
And you'll prepare that, Mr. Bresco, is that correct?
Yes, I will, Your Honor.
Very well. Based upon the testimony that's been presented this morning by Jeffrey Standards, the court finds and determines that there's an unborn child that was conceived out of wedlock during the marriage of these parties, and that the plaintiff, Nathan Seeger, is not the biological father of that child, but one that Jeffrey Standards is the biological father of this unborn child, being carried by the defendant and due allegedly in August of 2023. Does that adequately address the issue, Mr. Bresco, in your opinion?
It does, Your Honor.
Right. Mr. Jenik, are you likewise satisfied with that ruling?
I am. Thank you.
All right. Very well. The court appreciates everyone appearing this morning, especially with Mr. Bresco. Wasn't necessary, but the court does appreciate you making the effort to appear on this snowy day.
No problem, Judge.
So that with that, the court will. And I don't recall if I recited the magic words or not back then, but based upon the testimony previously given and the attitude today, the court finds again that jurisdiction was previously established and there's been a breakdown in the marriage relationship to the extent that the option of matrimony has been destroyed. There's no chance of reconciliation. According upon the receipt of the written consent judgment, the court will sign the judgment. At that time, the court will order that the marriage between the parties be dissolved and judgment shall under granting a divorce from bonds of matrimony. All right. So good luck to you, Mr. and Mrs. Seeger. I'm sorry, Mr. Seeger's not present, but anyway, thank you, Mr. Russell, Mr. Jenik.
How good was that one? Yep, I'm excited. That Judge Wendy was trying to do everything to not to get him to smarten up and get that paternity test. At least go on Maury, for Christ's sakes. Oh my God! All right, let's do the next. Before we get to the long one, let's go to Judge Washington. And I know a couple people in the Discord were telling me to play this one. This is a good one. Then we'll go to Simpson. Then I got about 4 really good clips coming up, and then we have a nice one. Yeah, I see my moderators. Rita, thank you so much. That's going right for the hard drive fund. Thank you so much, Rita. That was great. Thank you to everyone who's given me super stickers, super chats, everything. I'm not popping the comments up. 1, because I don't know how to yet, and 2, I put the chat up there for everyone to see. And if you're on your phone, you can watch full screen, and you don't have to look at the chat, because there's a lot of people that don't chat. And that's for the people who want to see the chat and don't chat also. All right, here we go. Let's go to Mr. Zanz.
Mr. Nelson,
Yes.
I just learned about the message that you placed in chat about being in the courtroom until now.
Yeah, I was gonna say something about that after you said what you said, but yeah, I ain't. I just was gonna say, if it was possible, I know you don't do no orders or nothing like that. You call how you want to call them, but like every time I had this meeting, and it's like the third time it happened, but every time I had this meeting, it'd be at 9 a.m. and I'd be in here at 9 a.m. But I don't never get called until like 11 or 12, and I'd be having to be at work at 10 a.m. And like right now, it's 1 o'clock, and I get off. I'm really supposed to be in here at 10 a.m., but I'm off at 4. So my boss just told me that I don't have to work today. So this is like kind of like a huge inconvenience on me. But like at the end of the day, you know, I'm not, you know, just kind of wish you could call me sooner, please.
So first of all, this is not a meeting. This is court because you're charged with a criminal case. So that's the first piece. The second piece is, if you actually label your name, then someone will know who you are so that you can actually get your case called. Your name said Rick what? Rick Bands with a Z. We don't have anybody by that name, so your case cannot be called.
He laughed. First of all, think of what he's asking. He's asking her to speed up the process because he needs to go to work. Not the entire docket has to go to work or has things to do, but Mr. Zanz has things to do. Then she's calling him out on his name on Zoom, and he's laughing about it. That's his alter ego. This guy, man, he's got some cojones.
So you need to change your name when you first get into the courtroom so your case can be put in a list of cases to be called.
And I apologize, Your Honor. This account, I'm usually logged in on my other account, which it says Tyreek Nelson, but I didn't realize that I was logged into a different account today, which is Rick Bands. But that's my fault as well, you know.
Zanz.
Disregarding this time, it has also happened 2 previous times as well. So it's not like I kind of felt like I didn't even notice my name was changed because regardless of my name being Tyreek Nelson or not, I never get called. So it's like, you know, that was an issue as well. But it's not a meeting, you know, so it doesn't even matter.
All right. So we're going to adjourn this one more time. We need to get the video done. So Mr. Nelson cannot miss additional days at work. It is an inconvenience for people to have to be here.
Exactly.
And I understand that.
Tommy.
But the bottom line is we're in court. Court's going to happen when court happens. That's how this works. Nevertheless, this docket is taking, was longer today. We had done better than this for a while. This docket was longer today because of the fact that we're doing the cases from the snowstorm got moved to today, and it's a longer docket than usual. And maybe you come on the longer docket, sir. But first start with making sure your name is in here properly, and so your case can get put on the list.
Yes, ma'am.
Secondly, how long before you think, and I know you don't really know, you said as soon as possible, but how long do you think it'll be before we can get this? His counsel needs to have it, and then they need to review it with him before we can move forward. So I don't want to just schedule it for him to show up with nothing happening.
Absolutely, Your Honor. I agree 100%.
All right, so I'm seeing stuff on the comments with the screen. So what I'll do for the next live, guys, I'm pausing. What I'm going to do for the next live, I have an overlay without the chat. So we'll try it without the chat. I'll throw a poll up, and we'll take a poll on which one you want to do, the just chatting with the chat on the side or the full screen with the overlay in the background. So I'll do the next live. I'll do the second one. All right, and we'll put the poll up, and we'll see what you guys like. Because, again, this isn't for me. This is what you guys see, the optimal view for you guys, how you view it. I'm doing this all for you. So we'll take it from there. All right, let's roll.
And understand, because I just got that response this morning. Apparently, the issue is not that it's not there, but whatever system they're using to access those things, they're not able to get into it. So I don't know if that's going to be a quick IT fix or not. I mean, probably not very quick because Kyle's been asking for the past couple months. I would ask if we could get a date, maybe mid-April. And at that point, that should be, I can't really say that for them, but that should be sufficient time after all this time to get that resolved. And I would assume that if we don't have it by then, that we're not going to have it.
All right. Ms. Cleveland, are you in agreement?
That's fine, Your Honor. Thank you.
April 13th, 2023 at 9 a.m. again. And, well, actually, this one was at 10. No, but
Your
you
Honor,
got notice for 9. I see.
Okay.
Bond will continue.
Shut up.
Make sure you have your name signed in there properly, Mr. Nelson.
She's so
Okay?
patient.
Yes, ma'am.
For taking your hats off. I appreciate that too. Okay.
No problem.
Thank you. Have a good day, sir.
You too.
Yikes.
Judge, thank you for the opportunity.
So the drug test is
Okay.
directed on.
Here we go. All right. You can't have an inaugural live stream without Simpson.
Thank you.
So, I don't know if you guys saw this one, but we have a crier, and it is pathetic. And Simpson falls for it.
Court calls the cases of the People versus Christina Bowling, 2 cases.
Laura Willenburn for the people.
Ready, Judge. Torshell Feaster, Assistant Public Defender, on behalf of Miss Christina Bowling. Miss Bowling, please unmute and state your name for the record.
Christina Bowling.
Thank you, Judge. I've had a chance to talk to Miss Bowling and to Miss Willenbring. It does appear that Miss Bowling believes she has a third case from December of 22 that will be charged, that she wants to adjourn these matters to try and do a global on all 3. But there is a probation violation also in the file that I think the court would like to address.
I don't. You're saying there's a bond violation? I don't have.
A bond violation, yes, Judge. There was a positive test, Your Honor.
KL.
Do you see that, Ms. Willingbring?
I did receive that information from Mr. Feaster this morning, Your Honor.
Pardon?
I received the bond violation from Mr. Feaster this morning.
Okay. What did she test positive for?
THC. Go ahead, Ms. Willingbring.
On March 1st, positive for THC, amphetamines, and cocaine.
Ms. Bowling is pleading guilty to the violation, Judge. I believe the court is very familiar with her.
Yes, I am. Christina, what's going on?
Nothing. I just got caught with the wrong people, wrong time, wrong place. And I'm definitely I just wanted to admit to, what I've done, and I know it was wrong, and I just got to get back on track.
Ms. Willingbring and I did speak about that this morning, Judge. Ms. Bowling did go to a rehab facility recently, and she was released from that treatment. Ms. Willingbring and I did think that the possibility of extended rehab, long-term rehab, might be something else that could be beneficial to her. I can recommend her or refer her to our social workers in our office to try to get her in a program. And there is an offer on the table for drug court on these files that Ms. Bowling is considering.
All right. Ms. Bo, how do you think, if I leave you out right now, how are you going to stay away from these people? You just went to rehab, you just came out.
I know I'm trying every day. Like I said, it was just the wrong time, the wrong people, and I don't hang out with them people. I just, we just got caught up seeing each other on the street, and like I said, I have 2 kids and I'm pregnant with another kid. So I care about my kids more than I care about these drugs and these people. So I'm really trying.
That is funny, Grim. Judge Simpson.
Can you give me GPS?
Your Honor, may I address the bond violation?
Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry, Miss Williams.
That's okay, Your Honor. I do have some pretty serious concerns. I do agree that long-term inpatient is probably the most appropriate, but I have serious concerns that Ms. Bowling is apparently pregnant and using cocaine and just got out of inpatient treatment center. I do think that remand would probably be most appropriate at this time. Perhaps she could do the Dawn Farms program in jail and then be released to a long-term treatment facility.
Mr. Feaster.
Thank you, Judge. Obviously, Ms. Bowling is appearing here. She's trying to resolve these matters. She's trying to get the help she needs. She did backslide. She did have an issue. She's accepting it and taking full responsibility. I'd ask the court to allow me to work with our social workers, try to get her into a program, allow her to further consider the drug court resolution that needs to be filed, and to have frequent testing and monitoring. And I think Ms. Bowling will be willing to come back every week if the court wants her to come back every week to review her testing and make sure she's clean. And any further testing, then I'd ask the court to then put her in jail. But at this time, I ask the court to give her another opportunity. I'm optimistic that she's serious and that she will stay clean and protect her unborn child and her 2 living children, Judge.
He's trying. Feaster's trying. Works.
Ms. Bowling, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set it. I was going to do something a little bit differently, but Ms. Bowling, at this time, what I'm going to do, at least for these next 2 weeks, is I'm going to revoke your bond. You need to report to the jail. Now, I know you've got to try to arrange, Ms. Bowling. Okay, just listen to me, okay?
Okay.
Ms. Bowling, we know each other, and you know that I don't do it to you necessarily to punish you. I just don't want you using, because we know what happens. Okay.
I know.
Okay, so all right, Ms. Bowling. All right, just stay with me here, okay? Because I'm going to do something also a little bit different here. All right, you need to get to the jail by 6 p.m. today. Okay?
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm going to issue a bench warrant for your arrest with no bond, and I don't want to do that either. Okay. So normally what I would do, all right, Ms. Bowling, you still listening to me?
Yes.
Okay. I normally would set this out 2 or 3 weeks. I'm not going to do that to you. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to set it out 1 week to the 16th. Okay. I know that's not a lot of time for the folks at the PD to work, but if they can kind of put something urgent on it and see if we can try to find some place for some additional treatment for you. Okay. And then, okay, Miss Bowling, listen. And then you'll come back and you'll see me next week. Now, what that means is so that you know, the reason when I do this kind of thing, that doesn't mean I'm going to leave you in there, but I just got to get you out of where you are right now. Try to see if we can get you some additional treatment. Mr. Feaster's going to work on that. And if that doesn't work out, then somehow or another, we're going to put our heads together and we're going to try to figure something else out. That's why I'm not going to have you there for 2 or 3 weeks. I'm going to try to get you moving into some treatments or something that's going to help you, okay?
Okay.
You have any questions on that, Miss Bowling? Get there by 6 p.m. and then somebody from the PD will be down to see you, and then we'll see where we can go. Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
I mean, he did the best he could for her. He's looking out for her. I mean, there's nothing more he can do. I think that's the best place for her and her baby. She's going to be safe. I mean, what else? It was a good call, don't you think? I feel sorry for her, but in another turn, you know, she's making these choices. So here we go. All right, so now this one is Judge Aguilar. He's been on this show before. He's hard-nosed, to the point, blunt, tough, but he's caring. I have 2 cases, and then I have a little intermission at 11, at about the 11-minute mark. I'm not taking a break. It's a surprise, so I'm just going to let it run, and I spliced a little surprise in there for you. So, let's roll. Look at Aguilar's face. I didn't mean to do that. I was just pausing for a second. We could end the stream right there. All right. And we're up to speed now. Well, good. No more glitches. I'm loving this. Let's roll. Did you see that? Whoa. Judge Aguilar, are you okay? Buddy.
Okay. I'm ready for number 5 then.
Okay. All right, Andrew Hawkins and Celia ask you, please unmute and turn on your cameras. Ms. Askew, we're ready now. All right. Do you both swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you.
Your Honor, we are here on a suit affecting the parent-child relationship. We have an agreement on most of the terms, so I'll read the agreements into the record. Parties will be appointed as joint managing conservators with Ms. Askew to designate the primary residence. Mr. Hawkins will have a standard possession schedule. Neither parent has access to private health insurance at a reasonable cost. So Ms. Askew will keep the children on government insurance. They are in agreement that Mr. Hawkins will pay medical support of $301 per month and child support for the 30 kids at $765 per month. And there's been no family violence or request for non-disclosure. And the only contested issue is retroactive child support. The state calls the mother Miss Askew. Can you please state your name?
Cecilia Askew.
And what are the children's names?
The oldest would be Desiree Hawkins. Second would be Destiny Hawkins, and the last is Denise Hawkins.
Okay. And are you and Mr. Hawkins currently married?
Yes.
And when did you get married?
I think it was June. I don't know the actual date.
Do you know the month and the year?
July 9th, really. Mr. Hawkins, I know you're trying to help, but Miss Askew is the witness. Wait for her to testify, okay?
Miss Askew, do you know what year it was?
It was 2021.
Okay, so were you married before you had all 3 children?
No, ma'am. So I had the oldest 2 already. The last baby, Denise, didn't come until after the marriage.
Okay. And who is the father of Desiree and Destiny?
Andrew Hawkins.
Okay. Is there anyone else that could possibly be their father?
No,
Okay. Do you want to establish today that Mr. Hawkins is Desiree and Destiny's father?
that is correct.
And as far as the marriage between you and Mr. Hawkins goes, have you filed for divorce?
Not yet.
Okay. And did you hear those agreements I read out into the record?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you still agree to those terms?
Yes.
Okay. And are you requesting back child support today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And when did you and Mr. Hawkins split up and stop living together?
So it's been an off and on thing. So this started way back in June of last year. So that'll be 2022. It's been an off and on thing. Like I stated to the last lady, when he was there, when we were living together, he was helping with the bills.
Okay. And so between June of last year and now, how many months are you requesting back child support for?
I said 6.
Okay. Let me do a quick calculation. Six months times child support of $765 is $4,590. Is that what you're requesting?
Yes, ma'am.
And those months where Mr. Hawkins was not in the household, was he sending you or giving you any money to support the children?
Yes. He sent 3 payments of $200. I can check.
So $600 he gave you?
Yes, ma'am.
So do you want to give him credit for $600?
Yes, ma'am.
So that brings,
and there's another credit for another $600.
okay. Okay, anything else?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Let me. Okay, so giving him a credit of $1,200, that brings retroactive child support down to $3,390. Is that the amount you'd be requesting today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And if the court confirms that amount, are you in agreement for Mr. Hawkins to be ordered to pay it off at $67 per month?
That's fine.
Okay. And do you have any safety concerns with your address or phone number being in the court order?
A little bit.
Is that due to Mr. Hawkins or a different person?
Mr. Hawkins.
Okay. Has there been family violence in the last 2 years between you and Mr. Hawkins?
Yes.
When's the last time an incident occurred?
It was last year. I'll say around October.
And what happened?
I was pregnant with Denise Hawkins, and he put his hands on me.
Thank you. And was he pushing you, slapping you? What was going on?
That incident, I was pushed around.
Okay. Did the police come out?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Has he ever been arrested for any family violence between you and him?
No, but there was an incident where the police was involved.
And was that due to something that occurred between the two of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what was that incident?
He choked me.
And do you remember when that was?
2019.
Okay. So do you have, if Mr. Hawkins has your address or phone number, are you concerned about harassment or threats?
Yes, ma'am.
Has he ever come over to your residence unannounced before?
Yes, ma'am.
And when he did that, what did he do?
He just kind of like stayed around, like by the window or something like that. You know what I mean? Because he wasn't able to get in.
And so are you requesting that your address be marked as confidential and not required to give it to Mr. Hawkins?
Please.
Do you still believe you and Mr. Hawkins can co-parent the kids together?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so you're still comfortable being named a joint managing conservator?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anything else you want to tell the court?
No, ma'am.
I'll pass the witness. The state calls the father Mr. Hawkins. Will you state your name?
Yes, Andrew Hawkins.
Okay. And Mr. Hawkins, when
Not to mention, but Miss Nutt looks like she's 13 and sounds like she's 11. And just get a load of Mr. Hawkins. Thank you for the super sticker. How do we say this? I'm just gonna call you Tupac. How about that? I'm gonna call you Tupac in my room. You're Tupac.
did you and Miss Askew get married?
July 9th, 2021.
Okay.
22.
So before Denise was married, or excuse me, before Denise was born or after?
After. A little before.
Okay, so you got married before Denise was born, and your other two children, Desiree and Destiny, were born before the marriage. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And are you the biological father of Desiree and Destiny?
Yes.
Okay. And have you filed for divorce with Miss Askew?
No, not yet.
Okay. And is it correct that when your two older children were born, you did sign documents stating that you're their father?
Say it again.
When your older two children was born, did you sign documents when they were born saying that you are their father?
Yes.
Okay. And did you hear those agreements I read out in the very beginning of the hearing?
Which ones?
Are you in agreement to be appointed as a joint managing conservator and have standard visitation with the kids?
Yes.
Are you in agreement to medical support at $301 per month and child support at $765 per month?
I don't have a choice, but yeah.
And do you have any private health insurance you can enroll the children in?
No, I don't have that.
And when do you believe that you and Miss Askew stopped living together?
A week ago.
Okay, so up until a week ago, y'all were in the same household?
Yeah.
So she stated since June of 2022 until now, y'all were on and off. Do you think that's correct?
Mr. Williams has not yet appeared, Mr. King.
I'll need a moment with Mr. Mobley if he does not. Now let me send him a quick text. He may not even know this is happening.
Okay.
Surprise!
May I have your name, please?
John Kenneth Vogler.
Good afternoon. Mr. Vogler, we're on the record in case number 21-5110-ST. So you're appearing for arraignment purposes this afternoon on a bench warrant, and you're appearing with Mr. King, the defense attorney available through the Indigent Defense Counsel for arraignment. Mr. King, did you have opportunity to review the allegations on the bench warrant nature of the same with Mr. Vogler?
I did, Your Honor. Mr. Vogler is aware of the accusation pending against him on bond violation. He would admit that he didn't.
Can we just stop for 1 second and take in what just popped up on this stream, please? Just take a minute. he has a tie-dye Dare shirt and not matching shoes or pants, but matching hair.
In fact, failed to appear for that
Bravo.
hearing.
Bravo, Phil.
Would like to
Bravo.
enter the plea as such.
Drugs are bad. Okay. I can't.
So, Mr. Vogler, you were scheduled for a pretrial conference, at which time you failed to appear. You were also scheduled then for a show cause in front of Judge Stecca, and you failed to appear for that as well. Why?
Ma'am, I never received no notice in the mail. Honestly,
Sure.
God, I would have showed up. I mean, it's such a small charge. I would have showed up for it if I'd have seen the notice.
What is your address?
So if it was a bigger charge, he wasn't going to show up. He goes, it's such a small charge, I would have showed up.
7775 Grand Kale, Southwest, Fife Lake, Michigan.
That's where the notices were mailed to.
I didn't receive them. I don't know if my parents didn't give them to me or. But I could assure you, I will go to court. If I would have known that was there, is there a number that I could call?
911.
For what?
If I get back out, is there another number that I can call to check my court dates?
The general district court number, yes, sir. So regarding the bench warrant for the failure to appear, were you arrested for any other purpose?
No, ma'am.
How did the police officer come into contact with you?
He had came to investigate something else about a fight, and then he found out that I had a traffic warrant out.
Okay, but you were not charged in the other incident, is that right?
No, ma'am.
I will recall the bench warrant. The court will take no action. I'm going to set your bond. You're going to need to post a $1,000 10% bond. Conditions on that bond are that you may not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license, registration, and insurance. So are you going to be able to post that $100?
But it's not, ma'am. Is there any way I could get a PR bond? I got to go to the methadone clinic every day. I'll come to court, I promise you. I will call court every day, ma'am.
Well, it's not necessary to call the court every day, but you have to get your mail, and we mailed it to that Grand Cal address. So make sure that you're getting the mail. I guess I will place you on a personal recognizance bond under those circumstances, so you will be released. However, let me verify also your phone number. What is your phone number?
I have a new number now. It is 231-357-0755.
And what is your mailing address once again?
7775 Grand Cal, Southwest, Fife Lake, Michigan.
So I'm going to schedule your next court appearance is a pre-trial conference. So I'm going to give you that date right now, and it's at 9 a.m. in the morning, and you have to appear in court in person, okay?
Okay.
So it's going to be on
tomorrow?
March 23rd.
Oh, okay.
March 23rd at 9 a.m. We will also mail that to that Grand Cal address.
Okay.
Mr. Kane, anything further?
Nothing further from the defense. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Vogler, you are all set. You will be
Thank you, ma'am.
scheduled for that pretrial, so come to court.
Okay.
We have part 2.
Yes.
Whoa. Whoa.
Nothing back from Mr. Williams.
But Mr. Williams has requested that I handle Mr. Moak.
The bench warrant, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to put you and Mr. Kane in a breakout room so that he can go over the issues regarding that arraignment before we get started. All right?
All right, that's good.
Mark! Thank you, sir.
No?
Where we start, Connor?
Yeah, might as well.
Mr. Young? Mr. Young is going to be.
Mr. Mulkey?
I did, Your Honor. Mr. Moki is aware of what he's accused of. He's aware of the ramifications of that. He is willing to waive the right to have a hearing on that alleged violation. He'll admit responsibility for it and would like to address bond. We're just not certain whether it's something that you're going to hear or whether it's going to be put in front of one of the district court judges.
Right, well, it was a fail to appear for preliminary examination, which is a very serious issue. So Judge Cooney is the person who would be accepting the plea. Mr. Moki, you will be remanded to jail until the time that you are able to speak with Judge Cooney. We'll get the file to him. I don't know if he'll be available today or tomorrow, but he will speak with you so you can enter that plea and you can address whatever concerns that you have at that time. You understand that you have the right to a hearing. You have the right to have Mr. Williams represent you at that hearing. If you choose to admit the violation, in essence, plead guilty for the failure to appear, you understand that you are going to waive that right to the hearing and to have Mr. Williams represent you at the hearing. Do you know that?
Yes, ma'am. I actually do want to have a hearing.
Okay. That's no problem, but you should be in touch with Mr. Williams then. Make sure that you're giving him a phone call. You will be remanded to jail until the time of the hearing. We'll get that hearing expedited and have it as quickly as possible. But please make sure that you're in touch with Mr. Williams, okay?
George, I'm sending him a text right now so he knows where you're at, but I'll send him a text, let him know that you wanted a hearing.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Kane.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And just to verify, Mr. Lee is not available, is that right? That is, but Mr. Kane's information is that he was transferred to the hospital and is not available.
You're set, George.
Mr. Moki, you're all set.
Then we was back for like a week, and then we just separated again.
And back to Aguilar.
And are you going back and forth to her residence?
Not.
Come on, that was a good intermission. You couldn't beat Blue Hair Dare. Blue Hair Dare. Come on.
I haven't been over there.
Okay, but whenever y'all are back together, is it at her place? Is where you're staying?
Yes.
Okay. And when you're over there staying, are you helping out with the bills for that residence?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you heard Ms. Askew say she's requesting 6 months of back child support. Do you believe you should owe back child support?
Not necessarily, but it is what it is. I'll pay it. Yes.
Okay, so is it well, during those times you were not in the same household, she said you gave her about $1,200. Is that accurate?
I don't know. 'Cause I haven't been in my cash up. I don't know how much I was probably sending her maybe potentially more, but I don't know. I haven't really looked through my cash
So
up.
if the court granted retroactive child support of $3,390, would you agree to that or do you disagree?
That's probably agree. I don't know.
Okay, I mean, you can disagree. I just need to know either way. Are you fine with that retroactive child support being entered against you?
I say disagree.
You said you disagree?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes. I'm sorry.
Yes.
That's okay. And has there been family violence in the past 2 years between you and Miss Askew?
Yeah, I guess.
Was there an incident where you pushed her around?
You're right, Rita.
Yeah.
Okay, and was
Nima
there an
too, though.
incident where you choked her?
This guy must go from 0 to 120 because he doesn't look like he can choke anyone out, and she's a big girl. What's going on here? This guy's got a second gear. Yikes! I think he's sad though. I think he may still want her. I think he's sad because this next guy ain't sad. He's sad.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say I did all that, but I'll say yeah.
Then police were called out at least one of those times, right?
Yeah.
And were you arrested?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have any safety concerns with your address or your phone number being in the court order?
No.
Okay. And are you wanting to know Mrs. Askew's and the children's address? Or are you okay with it being marked as confidential?
I mean, if I got to pick my kids up, I don't know where I'm gonna pick them up at from.
Okay. I'll pass the witness.
Okay. Ms. Askew, what is an exchange location we can use for exchange for visitation since he's not coming to residence?
Yeah, we can meet somewhere in the middle. I don't mind. Just not at my location where I resident at.
Specifically, my question is where?
We can do Walmart.
Which Walmart?
The one in Arlington is fine.
Where in Arlington? North Arlington? There's probably several in Arlington.
It doesn't matter. You can just pick up Walmart in Arlington.
Well, I need you to pick it because we need to put it
Okay, I'll have to look the address up.
Okay, do that now for us so that we can put that in the order.
Okay.
Let's do the one on Great Southwest. Great Southwest 20. I'm doing too much.
I have an address pulled up.
Okay, go ahead and read it out to us slowly so that the Attorney General's office can write that down.
Okay, it's 4801 S Cooper. It's going to be Cooper Street. That's in Arlington, Texas. 7601.
Okay. All right. So I guess y'all changed from the beginning when we talked about some agreements, but I guess y'all have agreed to the changes, I guess. So we're making a finding of family violence, paternity establishment, non-disclosure. Mother's requesting a non-disclosure, and that granted was agreed to by both parties. Sole managing conservatorship, standard visitation with the exchange at the Walmart, and the child support and medical support, and retroactive judgment of $3,390 payable at $67 a month is ordered as well. All right, the Attorney General's office will put that in a court order and email you both a copy. Y'all are done with court. You can press leave on the Zoom to exit out. Thank you.
Okay, ready for this? The second one is great.
He did at one point come over to my mother's house. I've been here since August. He had a cell phone for me, and he took it back September, October. He wanted me to give him back the cell phone, but I was not home. He came to my mother's house. She told me that he tried to open the door and that we were roaming around the neighborhood. So, where we, like right in front of where we stayed, that he was walking back and forth. So then I ended up passing that area because I had an appointment. And when I passed the area, he followed me and he was behind me. And while we were at a traffic stop, he got out of the car. He asked me for the device, and my window was rolled up, but he like punched the glass several times. And then I just went back to the, well, at first I kind of like looked around the house and then I went back to the house, but that was in the past 2 years.
Do you
And
remember
ever
what
since
month
then,
and year this occurred?
it was 2022 in the end of the year. I wouldn't be able to tell you the exact month. No, ma'am. It was just a time that he took the cell phone away. But there's also just name calling. He sends me snippets of music that has like gangster rap lyrics, and he'll also just call me out of my name. He's cussed me out in front of my child, and that was last year when he dropped off the child. And he just shows up over here. He doesn't tell me when he's coming. He'll just show up and kind of just like at one time he asked me questions about what was going on.
And so in that incident, where with the cell phone and then where he ended up following you, you said he came to your mom's house. Were you living at that residence at the time?
Yes, ma'am, I'm still here.
Okay. And when he makes these threats or harassments, is he doing it over the phone?
McRib.
Yes.
Okay. Have the police ever been called out between you two?
Between us two, no, they have not been called out.
Do you have has there been any threats made to you or your child by Mr. Hanks's wife?
Yes, she's the one that's been threatening me consistently. It just probably stopped after, I would say probably like the fall of last year.
And have the police been called out for those issues between you and his wife?
Yes, they have on 3 occasions. One time they walked me to my car so that I can go to my mother's house. She had messaged me from his cellular device. Another time she punctured my tires, and she ended up puncturing one of the maintenance men's tires where I was staying at. So I wanted that investigated. And I reported that as well. And another time she came over here and smashed when I was staying with my mother at that time as well. And she smashed my my mother's window from her car.
Okay.
And she's admitted to all of those things.
Do you believe that Mr. Hanks is directing her to make those actions?
Sometimes I really don't know. The reason I say that is because she knows information that I don't tell her. I had changed my phone number several times, at least over 3 times that I recall. And she ends up having my phone number every single time. Where I stayed at, he sent her over there when I specifically told him I did not want her to have my address. And he gave that to her, and I don't know how she's getting other information, but I feel like they do talk about me, so I'm not sure whether or not he does instruct her to go do those things.
And
I
they're
know
still,
one time,
are they still together in a relationship? As far
yes,
as
they're
you
still
know?
married and living together, yes.
Okay. And has there been any physical violence between you and Mr. Hanks?
Yes, it was in the past. One time he saw a male's number in my phone. It was my friend. He put a gun to my head and asked me to call that number and like have them answer the phone and tell them not to call anymore. So I did that while the gun was in my face the whole time and I was on the phone.
Do you
And
remember,
another time,
do you remember what month and year that was?
it was probably 2018.
And has he ever made any threats or committed any violence, I guess, against the child?
As far as I know, I wouldn't know because how I was telling the woman, when she goes over there, I don't have no communication. He doesn't want me to call because it's an issue with his wife as far as me communicating or calling her. You know, she's never not with me, so I just, you know, like to have her know that I'm still there. And while she was over there, the first time that I allowed her to go over there, she was, I think 13, 14 months. And she came back, and that same night she had vaginal bleeding. So I was concerned, and I took her to the hospital.
That's horrible.
And they weren't able to rule out whether or not she had been assaulted or anything. They said that because I saw a cyst, They said that the cyst is normal, and they said that she looked constipated, so that maybe she needed some water or prune juice or something like that. And but they did
Yes.
examine her, and then they ended up picking up a case with the social worker. The social worker said she was going to initiate a case with the state. And
So Ms. Brown, CPS was called to investigate between you and Mr. Hanks.
correct.
And are they still investigating, or have they closed the case?
They have closed the case.
Do
Since
you
I've been
remember?
told.
Do you remember what their recommendation was when they closed the case, or what they found?
So her recommendation was they interviewed them, and then they interviewed the family, his family over there, and then they interviewed me. She told me to keep doing what I was doing. She said that as far as my child goes, if I had safety concerns, that at the time I was unemployed during that time, yeah. So I was just working like part-time. So she was saying because of that and how my lease was about to end, she said that it'd be better that I did go stay with my mother, because my mother, she could help me out with the child. And
Did they
as far as my living,
Did they say
Mhm.
anything about your daughter not being in the presence of Mr. Hanks?
No, they did not.
Okay. And are you requesting
She told me that was up to me.
Are you requesting the court find that there has been family violence in the past between you and Mr. Hanks?
Yes.
Okay. And are you requesting that you are granted a non-disclosure of your information?
Yes.
Okay. And do you think that you and Mr. Hanks can communicate together about the needs of your child?
So far lately here, ever since he's been served, he doesn't want to have anything to do with me or his child. He's probably asked about her on 2 occasions, and that will go with backlash towards me, or like I said, snippets of music that I guess he's trying to send me a message.
So,
but yeah, the thing.
Ms. Brown, are you requesting to be the sole managing conservator?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay. And are you in agreement to be the parent to designate your daughter's primary residence and stay in Dallas or any contiguous county?
No TPO.
Do I designate that we stay in DFW?
Yeah, it would be a geographic restriction, so you and your daughter would have to live in DFW area.
At this time, I don't know. Like, I don't have any idea.
Do you live in,
I don't know if I want to be. Go ahead.
Do you live in DFW right now?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And does Mr. Hanks? Do you know if Mr. Hanks does?
He lives in Greenville. I'm not sure if that's considered Dallas-Fort Worth area.
And are you wanting what kind of? Let me see. For a visitation, are you requesting that Mr. Hanks' visitation be supervised?
If it had to be that way, I definitely would require for supervision. I would just rather want to wait with everything that's going on with him being upset about having to pay the child support. And also, I read somewhere that because she isn't 3 years old, and the fact that she's been with me the majority of the time, and I know how to care
Objection
for her.
non-responsive.
Sustain.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
objection, and I sustain that objection.
Yes, Ginger. I did that for my daughter before.
So Ms. Brown, if the
Carol's
court
here.
were to grant supervised visits, who would you suggest be the supervisor?
How does that work? Like, because I know they would have to be there. So is it like?
Is there a family member of yours or his that you would trust to be a good supervisor?
It would be my family member.
Is there a specific person?
I would probably say my sister-in-law. I just, I haven't talked to her about it or anything because I didn't know. So I don't know.
Requesting that Mr. Hanks have no visitation?
Yes, I am.
And your daughter has been going over to his residence in the past, right?
She's been there 3 times.
Does she spend the night or just there for a little bit?
She spent the night 1 time.
Okay.
Actually, twice. She spent the night twice.
Okay. And what kind of health insurance does she have?
She has Parkland Medicaid.
Do you have any private health insurance available at a reasonable cost that you can enroll her in?
Not at this time, ma'am.
Hey, Rose.
Okay. And we've calculated Mr. Hanks' child support and medical support. We've calculated child support at $791 per month. Are you in agreement with that amount?
Yes, I'm in agreement with it.
And we've calculated medical support at $156 per month. Are you in agreement with that amount?
Yes.
Okay. And are you requesting that you be continued to carry the your daughter on Medicaid?
Yes.
Okay. And are you requesting retroactive child support?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, but back to the health, I don't mind him covering her health. It would just have to be, like, I guess, like, if I could, I don't know, like a middle person to exchange information, I guess, however that would work. And that's one of the main reasons that I just haven't had him carry her. Or I'm not sure if he has health insurance, but it's just me not wanting to give him information.
Okay. And when your daughter was born in January of 2021, did you and Mr. Hanks ever live together?
No, we have not.
Okay, so you've never lived together after she was born?
Never.
Okay. And so since she was born, did he give you any money or send you anything through an app like Cash App to help support your child?
Yes, ma'am. It was Chime and Zelle. You want to get down?
And so I hear that he's
sorry, Sydney. It was what, ma'am?
I think she said Chime and Zelle.
Okay.
And Ms. Brown, do those payments add up to $5,086?
I calculated $33.86 for 2022. I was only able to get around $300 for 2021 just because of my bank account. The way I don't have that bank account anymore, so I wasn't able to pull those records. So she asked me to do an estimate, and I know it was on and off. And I calculated 3 months after she was born because he was unemployed at that time. And I calculated from what was it? I think April to October, and that's where I estimated that it was probably $200 a month. And for the 7 months that I told her that $1,400 was the estimate that I gave her.
Okay, so are you in agreement to give him $5,086 worth of credit towards the back child support?
Yes, I'm in agreement with that.
Okay. And so from your daughter's birth, without the credit, we've calculated a starting point of $10,600. Subtracting your credit, that leaves $5,514.
Okay.
Are you in agreement with that amount?
Yes.
And if the court confirms that amount, are you in agreement with Mr. Hanks being ordered to pay that balance at $75 per month?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It's not the control.
Don't you think she could wrap
Have you
some
ever
of these
had a
questions up
protective
in one
order
shot?
in relation to Mr. Hanks?
No, I've tried to get one against his wife.
And was that one with his wife granted?
It was not.
If Mr. Hanks wasn't so good, I would fast forward it, but it's just so good.
Okay. I'll pass the witness.
Yes.
The state calls the father, Mr. Hanks. Will you state your name? You're on mute.
DeAndre Hanks.
Here comes Travis Scott.
And Mr. Hanks, has there been family violence in the past 2 years between you and Ms. Brown?
No.
McRib.
At the end of 2022, were you harassing her and threatening her?
No, she was harassing me, ma'am, calling my job and everything.
And do you ever call her any names
No, ma'am.
or send her any snippets of songs?
No, ma'am.
Does your wife do any of that?
No, ma'am.
Does your wife
No,
harass her or threaten her at all?
No, ma'am, at all.
And was there an instance in 2018 where you held a gun to Miss Brown's head?
No,
Yes.
not at all.
Were you holding a gun in general at that time?
Not at all. If it was, the police would have came out. Y'all would have had reports and everything, right?
I'm not the police, so I don't know.
Well, if I was holding one to your head, like you or whatever was said, like you would call the police, right?
So, Mr. Hanks, is your testimony that there's been no family violence?
Correct. Correct.
And has Miss Brown ever put her hands on you before?
On me, no, ma'am.
Okay, and have you put your hands on her?
No, at all.
Very true, Jody.
And have the police ever been called out between Miss Brown and your wife?
No, ma'am, not at my residence, no, ma'am.
Just in general, between an instance
general,
between
no,
Miss
ma'am.
Brown and your wife?
No, ma'am. No.
Okay, do you think she's lying about that?
I believe so, because they haven't came to my residence or Natasha's residence and said anything.
So, Mr. Hanks, I wasn't asking about if they came to your residence, if there was
Right,
just an
that's
issue
what,
where
that's
they
what
were
I'm saying.
called.
Listen to me, like I know.
No,
and
Mr. Hanks, I just need you to answer my question.
No, not at all, no.
Okay, so,
Don't get loud
so
with Miss
you
Nut.
think Miss Brown wasn't telling the truth?
Correct.
And, okay. So do you think that you and Miss Brown can communicate well together about the needs of your child?
I can, correct. I'm speaking for myself on.
Okay. And how's that been going so far?
So far,
when you
it's
tried
like
to reach out to her.
Correct. So far, it's either her way or no way. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, that's why I stated that I stopped sending payments. You want to steady receive income, but when I say, hey, can I get the child, it's no.
So are you requesting to be a joint managing conservator?
Correct.
All right. And we have Miss Brown as the parent to designate your daughter's primary residence. Are you, well, let me ask you first, what county do you live in?
Dallas.
Okay. Are you requesting that Miss Brown live with your daughter in Dallas County or any surrounding county, so she's in the DFW area?
Definitely Grim.
Correct. Dallas only.
And has CPS ever been called out between you and Miss Brown?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I called.
Mr. Hanks, please wait for the question to be asked before you start answering.
Aguilar's losing it.
Whoa, okay. All right. But I heard.
You didn't hear the whole question. She was still talking.
Go ahead.
And do you remember when CPS came out to investigate?
It's been about like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, so it's pretty recent.
Correct.
And in your opinion, why were they called out?
Due to the fact I had concerns about my daughter's safety, because I pulled up at her house one weekend and.
Okay, count how many times he says due to the fact. At this point, it's repeated a million times. And Aguilar, look at Aguilar's face. Nobody is better when you pause than Aguilar. Take your screenshots now. And the other one.
Her and whoever is supposed to be at her home was having an
He holds it. I didn't unpause it. It was still the same way.
altercation about a gun. They was fighting over a gun. She had a black eye and everything.
Was there another instance where CPS was called out because your daughter was having medical issues?
Correct. And it did not happen at my residence at all.
What up, Chris?
Okay. And she did go to the hospital though?
Correct.
Okay. And do you
That's
remember
what I
what
heard.
CPS, well, let me ask you, did CPS close that case?
Correct.
And the one you were just talking about 3 weeks ago, is that still open or is it closed?
I haven't received anything, so I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't received anything in the mail saying anything.
Okay. And are you requesting to have a standard possession schedule with your daughter?
Well, yes, more than standard. If you have anything above standard, I would love it.
So just to clarify, you don't want your visits to be supervised, right? You want the regular old standard
Correct. 'Cause
visitation?
she's been over here. She's been to my home numerous of times, more than twice. She said twice. She's been here more than twice.
And Mr. Hanks, who all lives in your residence?
My whole family does. It's Natasha here and the kids. It's 4 kids here as well, from DeAndre to Lakila to Lewis and Darius.
Lewis.
And are you employed right now?
Correct.
And you work for Schwerman Trucking Company?
Correct.
All right. And do you have any private insurance through your employer that you can enroll your daughter in?
Yes, I do.
Have you enrolled her yet?
Due to the fact she won't give me any information. I tried this a long time ago, ma'am. I've been trying to get her insurance.
Do you know how much it will cost you to put her on your private insurance?
At the moment, I don't. I have to go in and talk to HR.
And are the kids living in your household right now under your works insurance?
Not the ones that's in my household, no, ma'am.
Okay. And we have calculated child support at $791 per month. Do you agree or disagree with that amount?
I disagree with that.
Okay, and why is that?
Due to the fact the amount.
Is it too high?
Correct.
Okay, so we've calculated your average gross income at $6,928.90. Do you believe that's accurate?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and why is that?
Due to the fact, where did y'all get those calculations from?
I just need to answer. I need you to answer my questions.
For each child, ma'am. She's not the only one that I've been paying child support for.
Okay, so I'm just asking about your average income before anything is withheld. And we calculated that at about $6,900. Why do you think that's not accurate?
Due to the fact, again, I take care of other children as well.
Okay, so that number is the amount before anything's withheld for any child support or taxes or anything.
Correct. And then those numbers go up and down, if you understand the trucking industry. Those numbers.
So, Mr. Hanks, do you understand we got that average from the last 6 months of 2022?
We'll proceed. Yes, ma'am. Next question.
And how many other biological children do you have?
Biological, 3. But I
Okay.
take care of on the average of 6.
And are your 3 biological children still minors?
Correct.
Okay.
One's not a minor.
Okay, so only 2 of your biological kids are minors?
3.
Well, okay,
Two,
I'm a little confused
you're
here.
You're right. 2. I'm sorry about that. I had to think about it.
Okay, so you have 3 biological children.
Okay. Due to the fact, the chin to the mic, the ear to the camera, he doesn't know how many biological kids he has. This is low-key the greatest clip of the night. I don't care what you say. This and Aguilar's faces, and it's just, wow.
And only 2 of them are still minors?
Correct.
Okay. How old is your non-minor child?
19. He's about to be 19.
Okay, is he still in high school?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Give me 1 second here.
You know it.
You know what this reminds me of? You know when they show those animal videos when they have the what is that wide angle lens, the rounded lens?
I've calculated the amounts with credit for 2 kids. It changes a little bit. That's medical support of $207, and that'd be child support of $850. Do you agree or disagree?
$850 a month?
For child support.
That's ridiculous. Go ahead. Go.
What do you suggest child support be set at?
Nothing I say is gonna change it, so go ahead. Nothing I say.
Okay, so you do agree to the child support at $850?
I really don't. No.
Okay. And Ms. Brown stated y'all never lived together after your daughter was born. Is that correct?
True. That's correct. But
And since she was born up until now, have you sent anything to support the child to Ms.
since she
Brown?
was born, I was. Even before she was born, I was sending money.
And would you send the money through an app?
Correct. It came directly through my bank at times.
If you had to estimate how much
I
you've
told her
sent
like
her,
15,000.
objection non-responsive.
Sustained. Please wait for the question to be asked before you try to start answering it.
All right.
So, Mr. Hanks, since your daughter was born up until now, how much do you estimate you've sent to Ms. Brown?
15,000.
Okay, and let's see. Ms. Brown estimated about 5,000. Why do you think there's such a big difference in your numbers?
Due to the fact I have every dime that I ever sent to her. You know what I'm saying? Because I sent it through my bank. So I have every dime that I ever sent, Alana.
And
up until January of this year, and I told her like it was in the records that I said I was gonna stop sending payments over there due to the fact I don't even get granted visitation.
okay, so you stopped sending her payments in January
Correct.
of this year?
Correct.
Okay. And do you believe you should owe any back child support?
I don't believe that, no ma'am. I don't believe it at all.
Okay. And do you have any safety concerns with your information being in the court order?
Amanda, I can't.
Safety concerns, I have plenty. They have numerous of people coming in and out of Mexico that's illegal immigrants coming to their home. It's been told to me that her uncle has even came on to her and all of that. She just recently had a black eye.
So, Mr. Hanks, I'm asking, do you have concerns with your address being in the court order?
My address, yes. No, I don't have any concerns about it. You can put it in.
Okay. And I believe Ms. Brown said she wanted hers marked as confidential. Do you agree to that?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Okay.
Casual racism.
I'll pass the witness.
All right, go ahead and make a ruling. We're
Here we go.
establishing that Mr. Hanks is the biological father of the child. I do believe there's been family violence that has occurred, so I'm making a finding that family violence has occurred. I'm granting a non-disclosure that Ms. Brown does not need to disclose her address. I'm also ordering no geographic restriction. I am concerned about the child's welfare for visitation and the allegations that have been made. They're very serious allegations. I don't know why those are funny, but they're not funny to me.
Bang.
So I'm not ordering regular visitation. I'm ordering visitation through the Faith and Liberty Place, which is in Dallas, on the first and third Saturdays from 2 to 4 p.m. They will do the supervision of the visitation. So Ms. Brown, you need to deliver the child to the Faith and Liberty Place on those Saturdays, and they will do the supervision, and then you can return to pick up the child at 4 p.m. That should be the order until anything changes. I don't know that I feel safe with the child being with Mr. Hanks while so with the serious allegations have been made and with his disregard for those allegations as well. So that's what I think y'all should stick to, and they will do the supervision. That way you don't have to worry about family members being supervising that also could be in danger. The government medical is what we're doing for health insurance. That's the only place where the child is enrolled today. Ms. Nutt, what was the medical support you recalculated?
207.
They want
Medical, I'm going to order medical support at 175. Child support is ordered at $850 a month based on your income as a truck driver, I guess. And I do believe there's a difference in what you paid and what you didn't pay. I'm doing a retroactive judgment of $5,000 even, no change, payable at $75 a month until paid in full. Court costs as billed to the father. The Attorney General's office to be draft the order and submit a copy to each of you. You'll both need to review the orders. From now on, any payments in the future have to be paid through the child support office. Any payments paid directly through an app or in cash will not be credited as payments. All right, that's the order I've made. I understand y'all may not agree to it. but that's the order that y'all must follow. And y'all can leave the court now and press leave on the Zoom to exit out. Thank you.
All right. I was going to log off, but we got too many people in the room. The stream is running fine. You guys are entertaining me. The children are sleeping. The women are put to bed. Like how I changed that up. I'm going to give you a bonus one tonight. Also, I know my moderators were dropping. If you want to give the support to the Upgrade Computer Fund, you could give it straight to the PayPal and the Cash App. They displayed it. My moderators displayed it. Also, join the Discord. And, of course, memberships are always live. Super chat, super thanks. Everything's appreciated. Let's roll again. I'm going to give you a bonus clip. Mr. Ryan Rainwater, ladies and gentlemen. He is a trip. Don't know how we're going to beat Travis Scott, but we're up there.
Madam Clerk, 1077. Both I and Ms. Simmons have serious concerns about Mr. Rainwater's ability to assist. He has not had any substantial conversation with Ms. Simmons. I know that he is requesting to go to trial. However, I have not been able to adequately prepare for that trial. And based off of the conversations I've had with him this week, I would be.
So this is Thurston. This is, I think her name is Judge Dixon. I could be wrong. Yeah, it's Judge Dixon. And this is Thurston, Washington State.
Asking the court to order a competency evaluation.
Let's look at things.
Your Honor, I've been trying to get this done forever. Both my attorneys keep asking me, do I want to take a deal? And I keep telling them no. The same energy that you guys asked me to do to complete this case, I would like to complete. My 90-day speedy trial is set for next week. I'm ready to go. I've been ready for the last 3 years. These are cases that have been brought up and dismissed and then brought up again.
Well, yeah, I can see it looks like, let's go back a ways. You're right. The pandemic kind of got in the way of a lot.
He's another one that hasn't mastered the Zoom camera. Look, what's that angle? I think the angle is the phone just sitting face up on the table. Correct? It's not standing up, it's just face up on the table. That's what it would look like. Okay. He doesn't fix it.
Mr. Rainwater, can I ask you, and you can decide if you're going to answer this question, but is there any diagnosis that you have for mental illness or mental health that might be getting in the way of the attorneys working with you?
No.
No? Okay. Have you ever been before a court and they've had you talk to Western State Hospital evaluator and see if you can go forward on a criminal case?
I've been in many criminal cases, unfortunately, not something that I want to do. And I would like to get this done. I'm ready for trial. Everybody should be ready for trial. Everybody's had plenty of time to get ready for trial. I'd like to go.
So can I ask you that question again? Was there ever a time that a court had you talk to?
I've never had anything of the sort, ma'am.
Okay. I was just trying to figure that out because there are a couple of cases that got dismissed and I didn't know why, and I wondered if that was why. All right, let's see. And so, Mr. Pazderka, you came on which one of these cases? Are these both your matters?
The driving under the influence charge is my matter, and Ms. Simmons is assigned to the other matter.
Okay. Do we have Ms. Simmons anywhere today? Are you covering for both?
I was covering for both, Your Honor.
Okay. Then kind of look at things here. And you came on, let's see. Looking at the docket here, trying to figure out where we are. All right.
If I might,
Sure.
due to this, my license has been suspended. I haven't been able to get back to work. So
What do you do? What do you do for work?
well, I was getting my CDL. I was in the process of getting my CDL.
Actually, I see your personal driver's license is fine, but that's getting in the way of getting, this is getting in the way of you getting your CDL?
Well, ma'am, they told me I got a letter here saying that my license was suspended due to district court for the DUI and this other matter. They said that my license had been suspended.
Okay.
And
So,
it's been,
all right.
I haven't been able to drive anywhere. I haven't been able to go anywhere. I can't do anything. I've lost my job due to this. I'd really like to get this done.
Okay, I don't blame you here. Looking at a couple of things here. And then, so, Mr. Rainwater, have you, well, let me ask, Mr. Pazderka, have you had the opportunity to talk to Mr. Rainwater, phone, email, whatever? Is there?
Yes, Your Honor, I've had a couple of phone conversations with him. I've tried to discuss the particulars of what a defense would be at trial. He does not, I've tried to advise him of certain issues that I would see come up at trial. He's not been able to.
I'm ready to do
engage.
this because it's my decision to do this.
Right, please don't interrupt me, Mr. Rainwater. I need to hear
Yes,
from
ma'am. I
people
apologize.
one at a time. That's okay. Go ahead, Mr.
I apologize.
Pazderka.
He has brought up a few issues that he has that I have tried to advise him are not legal defenses to the charges. He has not really been able to engage me on those issues or seem to understand the explanations I've given.
I bring order to people.
And I know on Ms. Simmons' case, he has never had any substantial conversation with her about the details or issues of that case because he has only ever wanted to discuss the DUI charge, which he believes was dismissed, and that basically I haven't been able to have any, nor Ms. Simmons has been able to have any conversation regarding how he would actually like to be represented or his position to be represented at trial. And I'm somewhat at a loss in this case because I don't seem to be able to have any meaningful conversation with him about how to actually proceed at trial.
If I might,
Sure, Mr. Rainwater.
I've been trying to get this done because my license is suspended. I've lost my job. My credit cards are maxed out, and I'd like to have this done. They're talking about going out and taking this out for extended amount of time. I'm not willing to do that. However this goes down in court, it's my right.
Mm-hmm. You're right. Yeah. I also have some things I got to consider. So let's talk, Mr. Rainwater. So what I'm hearing from the attorneys is that they're having a hard time discussing with you your defenses, how you want to go forward with this case, how you don't want to
go to trial, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. On one of them, I told my attorney, I explained to the attorney that the body cam evidence, as opposed to what he said, this is regarding Miss Simmons' case, will prove what I'm saying.
All right. So
I told him,
had a chance to look at that with your attorney.
Yeah, I told the other attorney yesterday that the body cam evidence for the DUI case will prove what I'm saying.
And you've had a chance to look at that?
And so no, I
haven't had that. Ma'am, this is why I'm ready to go to trial. because I'm ready to go to trial either way. So if this is, I'm not concerned because I don't feel like I've done anything wrong. That's my right. So I'd like this to move forward. My trial dates are scheduled for March 13th and March 15th. I would like this done. I don't want to have to continue to do this. This has been an ongoing thing for 3 years. I've had my doors kicked in. I've had windows on my vehicle smashed out. I've been tased, pepper sprayed, hauled off to jail multiple times. I've had to bail myself out for this case multiple times. It's been dismissed and brought back. And all I want to do is go through and move forward. The way I feel is if this is something that's been going on for so long, then the attorneys have no excuse not to be ready. They've had multiple years to handle this.
Good point there. Mr. Pazderk, about the evidence and discovery?
So I have not been able to meet with Mr. Rainwater because I've not been in contact with him consistently to schedule a time to go over the videos. And I believe he seems to be confused as to what videos exist for each case. And to be clear, he referenced speaking to Ms. Simmons yesterday, but he did not speak to Ms. Simmons.
I wasn't
to me
yesterday. You're trying to put words in my mouth. I didn't say I spoke to Ms. Simmons yesterday. I said I spoke to Ms. Simmons. I spoke to Ms. Simmons on January 24th. I believe it was. I believe that was our appointment that I was supposed to talk to her on. Please do not try to take the fact that I have a speech impairment and throw my words and make your own sentences out of it.
What? When did he do that?
So, Mr. Rainwater, then, why don't you tell me, so what do you understand you're charged with in all this?
I understand that I was charged with a DUI in December, I believe, of 2019, a couple days after I started my business opening.
Okay. Anything else that you're charged with? Okay.
In that case, it was dismissed a couple months later. Now, a couple years after that, I get pulled over. The officer tells me I'm speeding. He pulled me over at a stoplight underneath a bridge. Tells his officers that there's weapons in the car and where's the weapons at. They frighten me. He tells me I have a warrant for a DUI. I explained to him that the DUI was dismissed. He said, no, it wasn't. So I asked him, could I make a phone call? He said, yes. I called my mother and asked her to give me the paperwork. She couldn't find it. My father couldn't find it. He told me I had a couple seconds left and he was going to smash my window out. He smashed my window out. He dragged me out the car and he hauled me off to jail. I had to pay for my vehicle to get towed out of the impound lot and pay for myself to get bailed out. Then I got charged with obstruction of justice and told that I was threatening him and threatening his wife. So yes, I would like to go to court for this. Yes, I would like to go to trial for this. Yes, I want him to go on the stand and say the same thing he put on the paperwork. I want him to say it in front of everybody so that his body cam evidence can prove that he is lying.
So that's what I'm getting at, is that discovery. Mr. Pazderk, I know that's not your case, it's Ms. Simmons, but has the discovery been provided on that one? Do you know? So we're talking about this body cam?
I believe it has. Let me check our file real quick, if you don't mind.
Mr. Robbins, on that case under 21M340, has discovery been provided to Ms. Simmons so that she can review this with Mr. Rainwater, the body cam? Is that going to be?
Your Honor, I do see that we have the task completed of having sent discovery to defense counsel. It doesn't specify that it was that camera footage, but.
Okay. All right. And then Mr. Pazderk can look.
Although, Your Honor, I would note that that was back in the end of 2021.
Okay. And then is discovery on the DUI to Mr. Pazderk, has that been completed at least in your review? And then Mr. Pazderk can tell me what he's got.
Yes, I believe I have all of the discovery in that case, Your Honor.
All right. So all the tox reports and tech reports if they exist and
Yes,
anything of
and
that.
I would note that particularly for my conversation with Mr. Rainwater yesterday and Monday, I was attempting to talk to him, discuss with him those documents that I have, and he refused, was unable to engage me about the details of those documents.
Okay, so you've got it all there. And then what do you have? I know that you're checking records from Ms. Simmons, but you've got that information on that camera footage?
I'm trying to ascertain as to, I'm currently downloading, I apologize, the discovery file. It appears we do. It's a large file. I just need to verify that there are the videos contained in it. So if you give me one more minute, I apologize.
Sure, that's all right.
Shaquille O'Neal, what up? Greatest name on LawTube. Besides time served. I would love to see the body cam. It's going to be the next time, though. I'll be looking for rainwater. This next bonus clip, guys, don't go anywhere. It is nothing you're expecting. It was a find. I don't think anyone has ever seen it. Because nobody probably Googled what I Googled. And I don't want to hear in the comments. Cynthia, darling, we are putting up a different screen. This is screen 1. Tomorrow we're going to have screen 2. And then we're going to vote on it. So we're going to take a poll. I think the other screen people are going to like.
Sounds like that has not been provided, if it exists.
We don't have it. If it exists, we only have the in-car videos.
I was
And
praying for the
Wednesday,
video. As soon as I heard he didn't have it, I sped up.
It's easier to talk to you in person and for you to talk to the court in person. But we're going to be prepared for trial on the 13th.
Jamie.
There are lots of cases set. Mr. Rainwater, yours is older, and we're trying to do things that are older first. What
Okay,
I'm
so they're just
hearing
gonna
is
get the
more of a
court date.
reticence
Nothing's going to come from this.
to work, and maybe that's been part
Here
of
we
just
go.
Zoom and contact information, but we'll know more. So you have to be present at Thurston County District.
Buckle your seatbelts.
I bring order to people's lives. Many come to me for answers. The people give me so much power. Why have I allowed my husband to live 1,000 miles away from me?
Do we know who this is?
This is crazy. I must begin to control my life. A near-death experience can be an awesome thing if you learn from it. Me, I was catapulted 50 feet in the air into my awakening. No longer could I simply put people in jail without trying to teach life lessons first.
I'm the champ.
This is why I survived.
And now, on Judge Bonnie's Family Court,
Yes!
you be the judge.
Yes!
Who do you side with? The 13-year-old who wants her parents to pay for her birth control pills? Or her parents who say she's too young to be having sex?
Mom and Dad, let's do this. Let's show her video of a birth with a vagina that's stretching to the size of a watermelon. We can show her pictures of penises oozing with pus due to some sexually transmitted disease. These are the possible consequences of having sex, sweetheart. Collecting 3 ex-husbands, raising my only daughter, and
real.
trying to regain control in my life make me want to help families with their struggles. You knew he was a drug dealer when you married him, right? The problem is, Mrs. Payan, you married a pig and now you want him to be a regal horse.
No, he is a monster. I will never let him see my child.
Don't test me. I'll put you in jail right now. Now, Mr. Payan, this is going to be your last chance to be a daddy in this baby's life. I'm going to tell you in English, don't screw it up, and I'm going to tell you in Spanish, no la riegues. Mr. Vega, you are now 40 years old. You've been with me on probation for 10 years, and you are still living with your mamacita? I need him to cut my grass. Trust me.
This is great.
You make him enchiladas. You make him taquitos. Every Saturday, he'll be there to cut your grass. Mom, I think you're the problem. I am proud of being una mujer mexicana, fuerte, llena de pasión, and picosita. I grew up on this street, sleeping in the kitchen of a 2-room apartment. However, I was very fortunate to attend Stanford and Notre Dame. Yet, nothing could have prepared me for what was to come.
Your Honor, I gotta tell you, they're doing it everywhere. They're doing it on the tables, on the dance floor, in the stairwells, even in the bathroom.
On the dance floor? Que cochinos.
And the 15-year-old, Precious, she was doing it too.
Where was the manager of this joint, her pimp mother?
You tell me.
Commissioner, did you see the smiley face on Chuck's penis?
Oh, yes. Yes, Your Honor.
Did you know that happy-faced Chuck kills his lovers? Commissioner, you're lucky to be alive. I have made drug lords cry and remove their tattoos. I've defended myself against allegations of being a regular customer at a local strip club. I have even signed a death warrant on a serial killer. All those life experiences make me who I am today. And more than just a show, I want to create a movement, teaching people life lessons in a better way, with a little bit of Mexican spice and wisdom. That's my passion now. I am Judge Bonnie Rangel.
Hold the applause for later. I bid you farewell. I will see you tomorrow. That was fantastic. I hope you have a good night. This was time served.